All right, folks, we got everybody gathered up from that was out in the hallway. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this. I understand this is kind of an impromptu thing for you guys. Please understand it is equally as impromptu for us, okay? I understand you all have concerns. You're aggravated. You're frustrated. We as your city government understand that, okay? We know that you're going to have some frustrations that you're going to take out on us. Please understand, though, frustrations, aggravations, they're not going to get anything accomplished, okay? What we are doing right now is pooling all of our resources to rectify the problem. I know you guys have a lot of questions. I'm going to let the mayor speak to you for a few minutes, and then when she's done speaking to you, I've got as many answers as you can possibly imagine. Unfortunately, you probably have even more questions, okay? I can't answer every single one of your questions, but we're going to do the best we can so that you guys have the answers you need and you can disperse that amongst the rest of the citizens of Marlin, okay? Mary?
Many of us were out of town at the time that this took place. I left town on Wednesday, and I had water when I left. So they have stepped in to take care of this and to keep it organized. They are going to tell you exactly what is happening and why they think why some of this is going on and what we can expect. Okay?
I have a bit of familiarity with what's going on out there, and so I'll tell you guys in advance. What happened was Wednesday, TCEQ mandated certain repairs that needed to be made out at the water plant. Scott Fornash, who is the Public Works Director, made those repairs. In the course of making those repairs, the testing that TCEQ required made a mud, if you will, in the tanks that feed into the filters. By the time they realized the mud was in there, it had already gotten to the filters and clogged the filters that clean the water that you guys receive as consumers of that water. What happened is that stops up those filters and the plant quit producing. Okay, when it quit producing the amount of water that it should have, the reserves coupled with the demand drew everything out of the system, and that's why we ran out of water. Okay, it's a big mess of pipes and systems that they have to use to get everything to you guys, and each one of those were dry after we ran out. The plant is producing water. They've managed to clean the filters out enough to produce some water. However, you got to imagine we supply water from the water plant, which is about 5 miles out of town, on I think it's 18 or 24-inch pipe all the way out to the hobby unit. Okay, that pipe alone, coupled with the reduced production capability of the plant right now, that took almost everything the plant had. We're still filling as we speak. I just spoke with Scott about 10-15 minutes before I gathered y'all up in here. The water towers around town have water going up the stem as we speak, but the rate is low. It's not going to get up there very fast. The reason it's not going to get up there very fast is people are still turning on their water. They're still flushing commodes. We understand you're going to continue to do that. We can't stop that, but we ask and ask and ask for compliance. As that water fills up, your pressure will increase, your volume will increase, and you'll start to see water coming back. I was talking to him a while ago. The number, the Mesquite Tower, which is one of our main supply towers for the city, is 105 feet tall. It has 40 feet of water in it right now. Okay, it hasn't even reached the tank at the top, and that's about 500,000 gallons. And there's several towers around town. If you guys have all seen them, they're all in a similar situation. But Mesquite has 40 feet. The rest of them have less. Okay. Until we can get water up in those towers, you won't have pressure. You're not going to have a supply that you can call a supply. You might have a trickle of rusty water coming out or something like that, but there's no pressure to feed your faucets. All right? The timeline, that's what most of your guys' concern is unknown. And the reason it's unknown is because we can't gauge the amount of consumption that takes place. There's no way to stop the water from coming from the tower to your house. If you think about the back of your commodes, that valve that fills the commode stays on, right? As the water comes in the lines, it fills up your commode. Well, there's 6,000 other people in town with a commode that's going to fill up. That's 6,000 gallons that just got sucked out of the water system as soon as it got here. All right? The reason we have to ask you guys to restrict your water use, the reason we put into effect the stage 4 drought, all those things are to encourage you as citizens to limit your use so we can get water back in the system. Anything beyond that is something that's technical. I don't have answers for you. With respects to what we're doing right now to help you guys with your needs for water, we've already contacted Red Cross. As you guys have probably seen, they're setting up across the street. We've been in touch with a countywide task force to provide for fire suppression efforts. If it comes to that, they have tankers at the ready to solve those problems. As far as non-potable water is concerned, there's not a contingency in place for that because our main concern is drinking and sanitation. Okay? Guys, if you'll be easy with me, I'll do the best I can to answer your questions. Like I said a while ago, let's try to keep the questions and answers short because there's a lot of you here and we got a lot of things to do. Right there? Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry, I'm kind of hoarse.
I understand.
My name is Beverly Savala Weaver. I'm a new resident here from Dallas. My issue is, why don't they have track and trace? I understand all the technical issues, but there's the Corps of Engineers. Why are the Corps of Engineers already here assisting with working on those things?
Okay.
Next, okay, hold on, let me get y'all my question.
Sure.
Then the next, why don't they have water loaded up here? I can get out, I'm gonna go to a hotel in Waco. Are they gonna compensate us for hotel vouchers? Are they gonna, I can get out of here, I got a car. What about the elderly people? Or anybody going around, all these old people, giving them water? Do they know the amount, I'm a nurse, how much E. coli, the food, if it's not thrown out, if they don't get water, when the water start coming back up in those tanks, if they not sanitized with bleach and pine salt, them little people gonna get sick. You know, like I say, I'm a nurse, I can get out of here, but I'm concerned, my husband is on chemo. That toilet have to be flushed. We sitting up loading water. Ain't nobody come by our houses. There should be volunteers out, going from door to door, putting up notices. Your water is out. Leave town, or do this or do that. You know, that's all I'm asking. I have lived all over the world. I have never experienced anything this inconsiderate of the residents, as high as the taxes are here. This is just unacceptable.
So first off, to answer your questions, I totally understand and agree. I completely understand your complaint and your concerns, as does the rest of us here. Unfortunately, this is, believe it or not, in its infancy, and we have not fully gathered those resources to provide those services. We have been working on that, and some of them are starting to show up today, as you've seen with Red Cross here.
Because we called Red Cross.
Actually,
All of us in here called Red Cross.
actually,
Can you not contact the governor's office? The governor, the mayor have direct line to the governor. You should be able to contact the governor and tell him the predicament. We don't even have food here. I'm having to throw out stuff because my husband's stuff has to be washed twice. He cannot eat. You know, we have done good. We paid $10,000 for that chemo medicine. If he don't get enough water into his body, he's sick. Here we go back to Dallas. Who gonna pay for all that? Who gonna reimburse us for the hotel? That's all I'm trying to ask. I'm not trying to ask for nothing special. I'm not trying, but I just feel like the city can do more. This is not right.
I agree with you.
Or contact on up to the president's
I agree
office
with you.
somehow
We
and declare this as a disaster area.
All right, so like I was trying to tell you, we are working with those people. The emergency management coordinator is actually a county position. He's in touch with people at the state. We are working those channels. Unfortunately, they take time. We didn't
Okay,
have
but
the notice to put that into effect in advance. As far as reimbursements, I can't answer those questions. Those are city manager, city mayor questions that I can't answer.
Okay. Is there a number I can call back to find out?
Right now, there's not because the mayor is right here with you.
Do we not have an emergency number for a disaster for Marlin, Texas?
That has not been established yet.
Thank you very much for your time.
This is not the first time this has happened.
Correct.
Okay. When this happened, do they not contact the public works director or the city mayor, even though they're out of town, to let them know that we don't have water in the city, to contact somebody higher up at the governor's office or a state representative to get those things put in place?
So as soon as the problem was discovered, and it was discovered that the solution that they had in place was not as effective as
When
they
was
had
it
planned.
discovered?
The fact that we would be out of water, my understanding, not yesterday, the day before, when everybody actually ran out,
I
was
ran
when.
out on Thursday night. I had
Okay,
no water.
Thursday night. I don't know. I don't live in the city, so I'm not exactly sure what time that was.
So, wait. Once we found out the problem, we did our best to assess the situation. Just like he don't live in this city, I don't live in this city, but that don't mean that we don't care. All right? This man been working on this since he found out about it. That's why he's able to give y'all as much information as he's able to give y'all. But y'all do have to understand something. We don't work at the city plant. We have been through this before, and we want to help our people get through this situation the best way that we possibly can. Whether that's just us calling people to come drop off water, whether that's us getting in contact with the National Guard to try to have them come out here to help, we're going to do what we have to do. But the problem is sometimes you have to assess the situation and wrap your arms around the situation first before you can come up with a solution.
And I understand it was Thanksgiving holiday. I understand that. Even though they were out of town, they still should have been, they couldn't come back to town to assess the situation, to get things put in place sooner, so that things could be rectified.
I was out of town, but I came back
So
to town
we,
too.
and the mayor.
So why couldn't the mayor?
She's right there.
Hold on just a minute,
Well,
folks.
how come the water is actually flowing
Okay.
from out there?
Hold
That's
on,
a good
let's
question.
go. Let me go through one question at a time, okay? To answer your question, they were all notified as soon as I was notified. I was unclear if they knew before then, so I made sure they knew, okay? The mayor and I have been in direct contact with each other since this began, as far as I was notified of it. And she has been in touch with the city manager. At times, it's changed. I've been in touch with them. We have all remained in constant contact until we could have them here, boots on the ground, okay? The amount of time it takes for them to get here, I can't control that. It's the holidays. We can't control who's where and when, okay? But we got the mayor here. We've had people here working since we were aware of it. Now, to answer your question regarding the flow rate that's coming into town, the plant is producing 1,200 gallons a minute, okay? We are flowing 1,000 of those gallons a minute to town. The reason we're not sending all 1,200 is because we have to periodically back flush those filters and keep them flowing. It takes about that 20% or so to flow backwards through the system, so we have to keep that available out there.
What's the normal?
I don't know the exact normal. I know that the plant is capable of approximately 4,000 gallons a minute. So we're running at about 25% capacity.
So when will it be up to full speed? Do y'all know that? They don't know that?
The exact timeline is unknown. However, I can tell you that the parts to fix it, the filter tubes that they are actually using out there have been ordered. They are on the way. The timeline for that repair, I don't know, because it is a pretty unique system that we have, and it takes time for them to get those things to us because they come from all over the place. I don't know exactly where. Don't have a
Is
timeline.
anybody taking water to the elderly that live in the housing authority?
Well, I know of one person that did get in contact with the police department at 417 Cap Street. We made sure that he got water, and then that's when we made arrangements to get other individuals out here so they can give us more water supply so we can provide water to everybody, at least drinking
That are
water.
on mills, that get Meals and Wheels, that don't have
Right.
ways to get water.
We brought the Red Cross in to specifically help us with those types of things.
So they are taking water to those people.
I mean, I can't tell you what they're doing right this instant, but I can tell you we brought them in because we have surpassed our capabilities and now we need the outside assistance. We brought them in to assist with those types of
But they
things.
can't come up here and get the water. Are they taking water to them, is my question.
I'm gonna do it.
That's what
like
the Red Cross can
1,
do. They can take it to them, they can
2,
set up collection points for
4.
their representatives
All right,
like Meal on
remember
Wheels and
them.
those things, okay? As far as getting water to them, some of that is gonna depend on being notified of who needs us to bring it to them and who has it available to them via other means, okay? We're working with as many people as we can. We have as many different resources available to us out there on the streets trying to get these people taken care of. Unfortunately, there's 6,000 citizens and there's maybe 20 of us trying to fix the problem, okay? We can get in more resources and they're coming, but it takes time.
Number one,
My name is Jason Hale. I live on Agnes, and I just wanted to say I know the mayor and I know Tuck Nealon and Jeff Watkins don't know you very well, but everybody's awesome. But this should never have happened, not ever. If it's a filter problem, I mean, I'm a businessman, then you have a backup filter. And when the filter busts, you put a new one in and you keep things going. And nobody got a notice. We didn't get a notice to get us prepared so that we could go get water. It just went away. And we need to be better about, I don't know if it's the city manager or the guy who runs the water plant, but somebody's not looking at the red light that says we're low and needs to go. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. I mean, I'm sorry to vent, but this is in the middle of Thanksgiving when all these people's families were here, and they may not want to come back next year. And we're trying to promote, you and I are trying to promote tourism right now. This is not the way we're gonna get it.
Jeff, would you explain, I know we've had some issue, but we have a reverse 911 that goes out. If you do not have a landline, you're not gonna get that message. And so.
But we get our bill every month.
You should be on the news.
We can get a notice. We can get a notice.
Well, we're asking, we're asking. Hold it!
Talk, we all can hear what's going on.
Hey.
Nobody talk, how can nobody hear nothing? Let one person speak at a time, please.
So, we have a 911 reverse notification system. If you have a landline, you will be called, and you were called about this situation. If you have a cell phone, then you have to register that cell phone that you can get those calls, and Jeff is gonna tell you how to get it, because you won't get that notification unless you have the landline and you tell them to get the notification. That's one of the problems that we have right there. The other notification that we're going, and I will readily admit, this is a problem. Notifying people is a problem, communication. So we're gonna look at different ways to get this out, get this notified with Facebook and different things. But tell them how that they need to register their cell phone so they can be told immediately.
Right. Basically, right now, the federal government's gonna mandate before long that each, like Verizon, all the others, will actually have a system where if you've got cell phones, they will contact you. But right now, all we have in the county, and in every other county, is basically a system called an ENS system, Emergency Notification System. But it's only based on people that have a landline in their house. I don't have one, most people don't anymore. I understand that, and that's one of the fallacies of the system. Now, I can get a call because you can go in to hot.com and it will give you a number to register your cell phones, and that way you would get a call. But right now, unfortunately, that's the only system we've got. The city has it and the county has it, and sometimes if like the cities don't work, then we'll do it as a county. But basically, there's a priority that we take where the city handles it and then the county handles it. I just got off the phone with the judge. Anything that the county has that the city of Marlin needs will be provided by the county. Unfortunately, the county does not have water. Now, can we get water? Yes, we have Red Cross here this morning, and yes, that was probably generated by phone calls. And there, some of Facebook is bad, but some of Facebook's good. But Red Cross is here. They've been on standby this morning until they got their water there that they were bringing us. It's here now. It's going to be distributed out here. One of the problems we've had in the past is people taking extra water. So we're going to, every person that wants water can get water. We'll just ask the name so we be sure we're not distributing too much to the wrong people. So that's going to be taken care of. As far as fires and stuff like that, since the first we were notified of this, the county had all of our volunteer fire departments They have tanker trucks, and so we're not worried about that part of it. Our concern is being sure that we can provide safety if we were to have a fire. That part's taken care of. It just boils down to a matter of when it comes down to it, of getting the tanks full. And the only way that's gonna happen, some of y'all should have got a call yesterday that was saying to conserve water. I know the tendency is to cut it on. Most of us wanted to go to church this morning, and some of us went to church and didn't sit too close to the person next to us because we knew what it was. But nonetheless, the water is coming up. It's being taken care of. But until we get people to conserve the water enough, it's not going to build up enough for us to use it.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Lisa Smith, I live here on the line. I understand the situation, I understand that y'all are working on it, but you yourself said that Wednesday was when y'all found out. But all the citizens of Marlin just found out Friday. So if y'all knew Wednesday that the filters were clogging up with this mud-like system, why didn't somebody start conserving then, or calling in somebody then, instead of waiting until the last minute to call your citizens and tell them, oh, it's time to conserve water?
I can't answer that question because I wasn't a part of the initial process on Wednesday.
And then last week, I was told that the city council voted against a part that the water plant needs in order to get this fixed. Now, why did they, like, how long have we known about this, that they're voting on a part that is needed?
So,
I mean,
with respect
we
to,
as citizens want to understand your issue, but we want y'all to understand us too. We don't like to be lied to.
Sure.
Like, we've been told that, the fire department has been informed not to answer calls because they're tired of citizens calling. I've tried myself to get a hold of Jeff Watkins today, no answer. I talked to Miss Nelson this morning and she was very helpful, but she was gonna get the city manager. Where is he? I mean, is the city manager here? Is he aware? Does he not live here? Why can't he be here?
I don't know where he lives. He's just been hired on, so I can't answer those questions for him.
Well, he's like the main person of the city that
We've been in,
talking to, and he's not
we've,
here. I mean,
we've been in contact with the city manager.
Why
The
is
city
he
manager
here?
is aware
I
of
mean,
the
that shows
situation.
concern.
But just like anybody else that can get a chance to go out and visit other family members in the holidays, that's something that he did. He didn't know that this situation was gonna happen.
Well, y'all knew since Wednesday.
Okay, so let me, hold on, folks, hold on.
So if you knew since Wednesday, why didn't we just get
Okay,
notified
to-
Friday?
to answer
We
your
got
question-
notified an hour before the water was actually
Okay,
done.
to answer your question, we that are standing right before you did not know Wednesday.
You just said
I said that's when we found out that the problem started. The problem that with us not having water, then when we learned about it, was when y'all learned about it via the ENS phone
I know,
call.
but Wednesday, if there's a problem, don't you look down the line and see
I-
what that problem caused?
I understand that. I was not a part of that. That was something that took place at the water plant.
Maybe the person that is a part of that needs to be here.
Okay, well, I can't have every single person in this process here because if that were the case, then nothing out there would be getting taken care of, okay? They are answering questions for us via phone. We've talked to them. We've worked with them when we were able to get with them. When they discovered the problem Wednesday, they thought and expected the patch that was in place would be sufficient. The increased demand, like I told you guys earlier, took more out of the system than they expected, and that's why we didn't know about the fact that we would run out of water until Friday morning or Thursday night for some of you, as it was reported to us. Okay,
So we could be without a water.
I can't give you a timeline because I don't know how long it'll be. If everybody conserves like they're supposed to, or we need them to,
Well, there's no
it-
conservation on my end because I haven't had even a trip.
I understand that. I understand that. But what happened when we first had water come back through the lines, I don't remember exactly what time it was. We could actually watch out there at the plant, watch the water get taken right back out of the system when as soon as word of mouth spread around that there was a trickle of water because we were getting phone calls.
To go to every house and tell them, hey, don't put your water until the water comes back up.
No?
That,
This
Oh.
affects everybody.
It-
Can the water
it does.
plant not cut off access to the city? I mean, there's gotta be a
They
cutoff
cannot.
that you can cut off access and let them fill up and then
That-
let everybody start getting it.
it doesn't work that way. That's what I was telling you.
Cut off the water plant at the prison, but you can't cut off the water
Okay,
plant.
so
anywhere
if you'll
else.
let me answer one question at a time, I'll be more than happy to do that for you, okay? First, They cannot cut off supply to individual residences unless they go to every single
No, not
meter.
residence towers.
I know, hold on. They've already valved down, in other words, limited the amount of supply going into the towers that are like auxiliary towers. But there's one main valve out there at the water plant that they can turn off all water flow to the city, okay? They can turn off the valve at the base of the tower at the hobby unit so it doesn't fill that tower, but we still have a line between here and there, okay? The towers that are still in town, each one of those is needed to supply the town, and you can't turn off the outbound side of it. You can turn it off going in, but you can't turn it off going out. Well, we need to fill the towers, so it wouldn't make any sense to turn it off going in. They're filling those towers up right now. They've already shut off all the auxiliary stuff that doesn't have any real pertinence to be filled right now. It's just not going very fast. It's happening, but the consumption rate coupled with the lack of production just doesn't add up. And until the consumption rate goes down, the lack of production is not going to get us anywhere. That's why they don't have any water still coming out of their faucets, but we're still putting out 1,200 gallons a minute. Who was pointing?
Number 3?
If it's a matter of filter, why don't we have backup filters, number one? And second of all, I'm not understanding, if the filter was clogged up and shut the plant down, then what happened to the water that was in the tank?
The consumption rate went up on the holidays. You have more people in town than the plant was, or than the storage capacity can handle. When the plant went down and the storage capacity ran out, it doesn't matter if the plant's putting out at maximum capacity or not. If the consumption is more than the available water, it's going to go away. What happened was they were producing at a reduced rate. The stored water got used up because there was an increase in demand. You said you were a businessman, right? You understand supply and demand, right?
But I don't
Okay.
understand
The
the
supply.
city manager that doesn't know what he's
Well, I can't help the city manager. I'm not speaking for him. He's not here. All right.
fired him in
The supply went down and the demand went up. That's the problem.
Okay, but I thought that you guys said the problem was the filter was clogged and it shut the plant down. How do you have people using water if the plant is shut down and there's no,
Okay, so this
we
is.
don't have water?
So here's what happens. The storage tanks and the tank that produces water or that sends water to town, they have individual pumps on their own. They can still send water to you without the plant running. Okay? That's how you still had water even though the plant went down for a little while.
Okay, why don't we have backup filters to take care of this, so this
That,
would never happen?
that's not a question I can answer.
But that's
That's,
ridiculous.
I understand
I mean,
that's
I'm
a
not
specific
you,
concern.
but that's a ridiculous
Because
thing.
then this would never happen again.
Okay.
The filter is about like that, and it has 18,000 little fibers in it. It cost around $5,000 to $7,000, one of those little things, and we have, somebody help me, how many do we have out there?
I think it's 52
40, 50, 60,
something per skid.
Okay, but
Like
with all the businesses shut down right now, do you
Wait,
realize
just
the
a minute,
loss
let
of
me finish.
income?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So, those have to be replaced periodically, and the council has voted to replace those at a $360,000 deal. So they are being replaced, and they will last a long, they just needed to be replaced at the very beginning. Yeah, so.
But Mayor, we need backup. That's great that they're gonna
And
take
that's
them
a
out.
good, I understand what you're saying, and we're not gonna pass that on to them. Maybe we need to have.
Just because that would have avoided the entire
Okay, well,
thing. We
so-
could've swapped it out.
So guys, understand this, okay? We're here for a solution. What should have, could have, and would have happened didn't. We're in this problem right now, and we want to help fix the problem, okay? I understand, and I agree with you that there should be backups. When I'm on patrol, I take a second officer with me, okay? I take extra magazines on my gun belt. I understand that.
That's just common sense, and I realize we're trying to work through this problem, but we also need to look to the future so this never happens again.
We absolutely agree with you. Unfortunately, that's not going to help our solution right now.
Not right this minute.
And that's what we're here for, is a solution-oriented meeting.
Number four. You're gonna be number 6, because she's number 5.
Who's number 4?
7. That's number 4 over there.
My question is, it's gonna have to be married, so I have to ask this. Yeah. When we first started this bill to get a new water plant, we had $10 tacked onto our water bill. To my knowledge, either we got some mismanagement time we need them. Am I correct on that, Mayor? Yes, we
Basically,
did.
yes, you're correct. And I'll just give you kind of a little budget lesson here, you probably know this.
Oh, I know all about the city's budget.
But we're still paying.
So what's the answer?
That's been up to 10 years. And the planning of that, and water rehab went in several years before that.
Your emphasis is correct.
Your emphasis is correct.
Your emphasis is correct. If you recall, and I don't even use this word excuse, but I'm gonna say what happened, but I was kind of thinking that. As you know, we have a general fund and we have a water fund. The $10 you're talking about goes into the water rehab fund, which is supposed to be used for the rehabilitation of the water plant. Then, in 2012, we had that major chemical collapse thing. That cost the city over $300,000 and wiped out that fund. So, we're trying to bring it back. We're going, and as you know, we're in a lawsuit. We have, as far as I know, and I'd like to know, about council not voting for the part, because I don't recall that happening in the last few months.
That's just what I hear, yeah.
Well, which I'm wondering, was our city manager, we had almost $300,000 in there then. Because we had to have a certain percentage to be able to match to get that grant. And that was years ago, so that fund should be well into the millions by now.
Well, it should be, but it's not, because it's been, you use different things for different things.
But everybody listen up. We can argue, we can nitpick, we can try to fight and get mad about what's going on, but in all honesty, stuff do happen, and what we need to do is make sure that we get y'all water.
But before we go on from that, I don't want to leave your question unaddressed. So let me just throw this out there for you, okay? Because we need to work on a solution, not the problem right now. And I agree. I'm not familiar with the budget in depth. I can tell you I've read it, but I want you to come up here to a council meeting and address the whole council for that. The mayor can answer some of those questions. The city manager could answer those questions, maybe one or two of them. But the key is you have a very valid concern, and we want that to be heard. Come to the council meeting, stand up here at this podium, and tell them exactly what you just told us. That's the right place for
I
that.
agree with that. But I remember sitting right over there as the assistant chief of police,
Mm-hmm.
when all this was going down, and everything, and we instituted the $10. And so I just got
Sure.
a question.
Sure.
We have the $10 that goes in every month from every citizen.
I-
We should have had money.
I totally agree with you. Unfortunately, I don't have the answers to where that money was spent, so.
I addressed it to her, but
Yeah.
you wasn't even around at that time, there's nothing.
Sure. So, but we need to work forward, guys. We're running a little short on time. We got a lot of stuff still happening. So let's hold on. We got about 3 more questions that we're going to answer. He's already picked out who we're going to talk to.
If the city didn't vote not to order the filters, then why aren't the filters here, or why weren't they here already? Before.
Okay.
Why are we just now waiting? If the city didn't vote not to get the filters,
Okay, the filters have already been ordered.
I'm talking about before this happened.
The filters were ordered several weeks ago. They're not on a shelf at Kmart, okay? These are very custom items.
I'm well aware of that.
We spent-
I know also that you can have, in an emergency situation, you can have filters or whatever shipped overnight or whatever
Okay.
it may be.
These have to be made when they're ordered.
Not made that same day.
They are.
No.
These filters are not on hand. They have to be custom made. They are specific to our plant only.
And you also have to have approval from TCEP.
Okay, who is question number 5? Are you number 5?
Okay, so now that the water's shut off, what are we gonna do with our kids?
Yes.
We can't send them to school, they can use the same toilets,
Okay, so let me.
they're not gonna be able to use the same toilets.
We spoke with Mr. Seabolt yesterday regarding this. They have a piece of property that is outside of the municipal water district. They use Tri-County. They are filling up portable water tanks that they have for potable water. and they're bringing them to the schools for the kitchens, to, cook and clean with. They also have drinking water set up throughout their schools, and they are,
Are they also going to the hospital too?
the hospital has their contingencies in place. I don't know exactly what that is because I've not spoken with them. So to answer your question, we spoke with Seabolt yesterday. There is no plan to stop a school attendance this week. If that changes,
So they'll be able to flush toilets and all that?
he's
stuff?
got, yes, he has all that stuff taken care of. I don't know what his plan is. I don't know exactly. They have their own contingencies in place that they work under. But I do know that as of yesterday evening, they're still planning on having school and that their water situation is under control because they've taken their measures to fix it.
The Army Council bring
Excuse
potable
me,
water
are you
for
on
us
the
too, because
county
they've done
city
it before.
council?
I'm sorry?
The Army Council bring potable water
No,
for
sir.
the citizens too, because they've done it before.